So, hello, good evening, welcome everyone. And the music stops, I'm taking that as my cue to start. Yes, hi, good evening everyone. So today is day 46, I understand, of our Introduction to Sahaja Yoga course. And this evening we're going to be talking a bit about and learning about mantra, and particularly about the kind of, the style of mantra that we use in Sahaja Yoga. So there is a set format for the mantra. A lot of the mantras we use that you can use, you can slightly change them, and then they work on the different chakras depending on the quality of that center. So Obi will be explaining more later on. But if we start off with our foot soak. So I hope you all have a foot soak ready. Oh, here come the slides. So if we start off, as we always do, with raising Kundalini and putting on Bandhan, and then when we have done that, we can sit in our foot soak with our feet in the foot soak, and we'll have the flute music back, and we can basically just sit, as I'm sure you've been used to doing, just sit and meditate whilst soaking your feet. And what this does is it helps to cleanse the chakras and to make the meditation easier and stronger, which is hopefully something that you will notice when you foot soak, that after you foot soaked, it's easier to meditate. Yeah, so we start off with raising Kundalini and putting on Bandhan. And then we can have a photograph of Shri Mataji, and then we will all sit with our feet in the foot soak water for between 5 and 10 minutes. We'll have the flute playing again, and we just sit and meditate. If you leave your eyes open when you're foot soaking, and if you really want to close them, you can, but Shri Mataji recommended keeping our eyes open and just let anything fall out through your feet. Basically, the idea is that any heaviness from our day or stress that is drawn out through our feet into the water. It's something that Gandhi used to do in the evening, was take a chair down to the beach and sit with his feet in the sea. So we're bringing the beach in our houses. So let's have a foot soak together. So whilst we are foot soaking, as I say, just keep our attention, if we can, in the sahasrara, so the top of our head, and try to see if we can do this without thinking. So we can now wash our feet off and dry them, and then set our foot soak to one side, or better if you can go and tip it down the drain or down the toilet, and then we'll just come back and meditate together for a couple more minutes. And then we're going to listen to a talk by Shri Mataji about the Muladhara, which is the first chakra, the Muladhara chakra. Yeah, so if we just all quickly deal with our foot soaks, and then we can do a couple more minutes meditation together. So you return from having tipped your foot soak water away. You can all just sit a little longer in meditation together. After we've foot soaked, it's helpful just to sit in meditation for a few minutes. It takes sustenance, so the foot soak takes away any stress or difficulties that we might have, and meditation fills us up with the energy of this Kundalini. So we just sit for a couple of minutes and absorb this Kundalini energy. So what we're going to do next is going to listen to a short talk by Shri Mataji on the Muladhara chakra. So as you all know, this is the first center at the base of the Shushumna, which is this central channel, which is the beginning of our journey up to Sahasrara, where we meditate. So we'll just watch this video of Shri Mataji, and then Obi will tell us more about the mantras and how to say them and how we use them.
I said, animals are innocent, You go into a jungle now, I don't know, we are going to take you this time, into a jungle. You will have no smell, no horrid things to see, nothing. It's very clean, spick and span, all the time. But you put one human being, you will immediately know there has been a human being. They have their own systems of keeping things clean. Even the tiger, who is an innocent thing, up to animal stage you are innocent. He has his own styles. I don't know if you know about a tiger or not, but a tiger will kill an animal because he has to eat after all. He's supposed to only eat animals, he doesn't eat grass. What to do? He's not a vegetarian. God has made him like that. So he accepts. Now he goes and kills the cow or anything. Then he leaves his kill there for the blood to ooze out. Nobody will touch that. Nobody. Because he is really the king, not out of fear, but a protocol. Then next day he goes, he eats, then his family eats and all that, and finished for the whole month. They come out. Then the lower animals start going there. Like you have, I don't know what you call them. I miss in English. I don't know if they have leopards. Leopards and all these animals come out. And they start eating. Then even lower and lower till the birds. Still the crow, they stay back. Last are crows. Can you imagine? Such a system there. They go all the way from Siberia to Australia. How do they manage? Think of it. What gives them direction is innocence. And the innocence is magnet. It's a magnet. So actually it's a magnet. In a human being, you do not find a magnet because it has now evolved so much, but it starts just like a magnet. So they know which is north, which is south, east and west. Even a little bee, you find, and put a mark on it. It goes to the place from where it has come. How does it find? Its own way. Is the innocence is like a magnet, acts like a magnet. Even in the fishes. Just imagine how fishes have direction. We don't have. Human beings can be lost. Many times I am lost with so many drivers I've had. So many times I've been lost. But animals never. If you take a dog and you don't want the dog, you leave him about, say, 50 miles away. He'll come back. How does he find the way? So, their qualities which are built in within them through their innocence are actually the qualities of electromagnetic force and also pranava. That is, when electromagnetic force is charged with Ganesha's principle. That's why they are so systematic. They are so clean. They are so sensible. But they are not ritualistic. They are not ritualistic. Whatever God has given them, they have accepted, they are bound by that. They are bound and they live with that boundary. Even if you go up to the stage of animals which live with human beings, they too are very affectionate. They just want love, nothing else. See, one day if you do not care for your dog, he will just not eat his food. Not eat his food. You wouldn't care for the food. It is so remarkable, even I have seen among children, how they just want love. They don't accept anything else but love. But as soon as they start growing up, you see, especially in a materialistic world, then the whole materialism comes. So the second way we kill our children's innocence is putting materialistic ideas into their heads. Of course, the media is there, which is selling nowadays a teddy bear which has a birthday. Teddy bear has a birthday. Can you imagine? So everybody is buying teddy bear with a birthday. Because the parents don't want to be in the company of children. So they get some sort of a toys, this, that. 1 or 2 is all right. I put them with the toys, with the television on, now sit down. Children start becoming naturally materialistic. They start asking for things and for demands of such kind that sometimes one is surprised. You take a Western child to the market and you had it. But you take Indian children, they'll never take anything. Really, it's so difficult to make them, at least I have seen my own grandchildren and others. You take them, it's a headache to buy even another pair of shoes for them. No, but we have one, why do you want to buy another? Baba, that will go give way. No, we can come here. How? We can come in the car or else we can walk. But you will have no shoes, nothing. One is all right. Why to have 2? You give them money, they'll buy one small little thing and come. You see, it is the whole tradition of materialism which has brought this innocence to a stop. Then a child starts growing in the same materialistic way. He starts judging people like how many cars you have. See, they are so stupidly materialistic that I went to Boston and the television people asked me how many Rolls Royces you have. I said, I don't have any. They said, we are not interested, you are not in the business. This is what is now the mind of people in the West who have grown up. But even the children, today they want this, tomorrow they want that. All the time there's a competition for materialistic things. Asking for this, asking for that. Just imagine what a race will be there after some years when there will be just people who will be only worried about collecting things and buying things. I mean, buyers and sellers, nothing else. So you have to be very careful with your children that you do not pamper them. Do not get too much worried about them. Do not keep them on materialistic level. Find out if they are going on a materialistic level, bring them down. It's very simple to do that. And one has to work it out because we have to save our children and their innocence. Now for the other Sahajogis who are grown up and who are very mature. They are very innocent, I must say. I must admit that they're very innocent.
Hello, everyone. Good evening, and thank you for being there. As you already know, this is the 46th day. Just a quick look ahead. Next, on Monday, will be the 47th day. And then we will be demonstrating to you how to remove obstacles in our daily lives and also in our personal problems, from our personal problems. And the mantras this day is the Shri Ganesha mantra, which Shri Mataji has been talking about. Or rather, let's go back to clearing techniques that we have learned so far. Foot soak for general clearing, especially the first 3 chakras. And that is a daily thing. We have done candle for the left side. The candle is only if you find you have left side problems. If your right side, if your weak side is the right side, then you're better off doing the next technique, ice pack, placed around the liver, especially in the evenings. And so we work with the earth, fire, water, air, and ether elements, because these are reflected in our chakras. And we have also done affirmations for all the chakras. And there are handouts in day 21 on the site. If you look through there, you would see the ussahajayoga.org/Jan 2023 site will have all the handouts for the affirmations that we have done so far. So today we are going further with mantras. You have already done the root mantras, which is the Om for the Muladhara chakra, the first chakra, to clear left, right, and center. It really is a root mantra. And you have also done Ham and Sham, I am, and I forgive. Very powerful mantras for the Agya chakra. And you have done the Jagadamba, the mantra for which we reinstate our connection with the divine, for which we have no reason to be afraid of anything. So that strengthens the center heart chakra. So anytime you find that you are a bit out of disposition or you are worrying too much, just take those mantras. Especially if you're going to meet someone or some place where you're frightened, that is the mantra to take, Jagadamba. So today we are going into the full body of the mantra. And we are taking the first chakra and the first deity, the Muladhara chakra, and Shri Ganesha is the deity. Before we go on, it is important to stress that mantras in Sahaja Yoga are one of many techniques that we apply. And so eventually in Sahaja Yoga, you become your own master. You would then know which mantra to take, which chakra you find you're weak in and you need to strengthen. And you make sure that you don't get stuck. If the problem is overcome, you don't remain doing the same thing again, the ritualism, which Shri Mataji mentioned in that talk. So if we go to the next slide, which brings us to the Shri Ganesha mantra. The full mantra of the Muladhara chakra is this. Basically, it means, O Divine Mother Shri Mataji, verily you are Shri Ganesha. Salutations to you. By so saying, you invite Shri Mataji in her form as Shri Ganesha, with all the powers, with all the virtues and qualities of Shri Ganesha, to be awakened in the Muladhara chakra. I have to say from personal experience that you also need strength in other chakras. Like, for instance, when we speak, we are using the Vishuddhi chakra, which is located here. And if our manner of speaking is not clean, it becomes difficult for us to use the same voice, the same lips, the same mind, to address a divine element and expect it to be effective. You see, so you have to introspect and see that you don't have any other obstacles in your way to achieve what you want to achieve, which is awaken the quality of Shri Ganesha in the mantra, in the chakra, when you take the mantra. So it is said like, Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Ganesha Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. So shall we try it together? Om Vamewa Sakshat Shri Ganesha Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. It is something you have to experiment and see how effective it is with you. And I can assure you, if you have taken care of all other elements involved, the effect will always be there for you to enjoy. So we'll take the mantra again and in full now. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Ganesha Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. The Muladhara chakra is made up of 4 main chambers. And so generally, Sahaja yogis would take the mantra for Shri Ganesha 4 times.
It's worth mentioning, isn't it, Obi, that this form of mantra is the same that we can use for many different chakras. We would just change the name of the personality, the divine quality in the mantra. So in the Muladhara, we are saying Shri Ganesha. But in other chakras, we would use other personalities, other names. So Jagadamba on the heart, for example, we've already mentioned. So this form is one we can use in multiple ways. So you don't have to remember lots and lots of different mantras. You can, when you know this form, you can apply it to many. If you're feeling, catches or things in various different chakras, you can use this general form for all of them.
Yes, yes. And of course, when you take the mantra, your attention would be on the chakra, on the deity, and on the qualities that you are expecting to excite within you, which would be the qualities of the deity that you are taking the mantra for.
Exactly. So in the talk, Shri Mataji was talking a lot about innocence, and Shri Ganesh is a child, and so the quality, one of the main qualities, is that of innocence. So that would be the same in every chakra. So that each chakra will have a divine personality associated with it, and therefore the qualities of that personality, like the many different sides of the divine, if you like, the many different aspects are all reflected within us. And these mantras are ways of trying to bring these qualities out so that they are stronger within us.
Yes, and you would find that some chakras are easier for you than others. And so you would know which one to focus on, but it cannot be overemphasized the need to work on our Muladhara chakra, which allows us to establish the foundation, if you like, by which we are able to work on the other chakras. Because the Muladhara chakra is the root is at the bottom of the structure. So with a good sitting, you can then move this way or that way. So it is important that we look at how we can improve our Muladhara chakra. And taking the mantras will help. Foot soak every day, every evening will help. And many other Sahaj techniques will help.
And there is this this booklet that you can download, where I have to confess I've not actually seen this one, but I'm going to guess what's in there, which will be that it will show you these various different names that you can use and you can embed in this form of mantra that we've just shown you. And you can then, it'll then be something you can apply to all the different centers within you as a way of trying to improve their strength. And as Obi said about Sri Ganesha, Shri Mataji has mentioned how actually this innocence of Sri Ganesha is reflected on every chakra, actually, which is why it's such a fundamentally important thing, because it's actually there, it's there as part of every single chakra within us. So I think this is available for download. I think is there a link in the chat? Is that the general idea?
I think. So shall we now take the mantra for Shri Ganesha one more time and go into silent meditation for some time, for some minutes. Tvameva Sakshat Shri Ganesha Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha.
We can bring our attention back. My meditation. And I've been asked, we've been talking on WhatsApp, and I've been asked to relay some of my experiences of, well, I'm going to tell you a little story about how I came across Sahaja Yoga anyway. So I have always found it's fun hearing people's personal stories. So I'm hoping that mine may be of some interest to people as well. So Obi and I were talking about this the other night, because Obi used to drive on the trains in the underground in London for many years, and but this story predates his years doing that. We figured that out the other day. So we're going back to, it was in the mid 80s. I was a teenager, and I was a seeker. So I had this strong sense of not seeing meaning in my life or feeling meaning in life. And I'd heard of this thing called enlightenment, the idea that you could be beyond your mind, that you could be completely in the present moment. And so this was a thing that I was very keen to find out more about and to experience, because I wasn't really up for, just carrying on with endless education and jobs and kind of worldly pursuits. I had very little interest in it. So I, one evening, I got on a tube train. I thought I'd go see my friends. And I had this still had this kind of burning desire in me, like, how am I going to find this? How is it possible to do this thing? I'd read about it. And I got on a train, Bakerloo line, very clearly remember it, between Queen's Park. I was living in Queen's Park in London at the time, and Paddington. And I was sat on this train, and for no reason that I'm particularly aware of, still to this day, I had some kind of inner transformation happen where I sat on this train and I lost all desire. I could have sat there for all eternity and I'd have been completely satisfied. And I also lost not that I was anxious, because I wasn't, but I lost all anxiety. So I don't know really what that means particularly, but I just felt completely secure, completely, as I said, satisfied in that moment on that train. So much so that I had a little tear in my eye from how joyful it felt, how free I felt. And back in those days, I used to drive a motorbike. And when you drive a motorbike, you have these visors on your helmet. And over time, little flies hit the visor and it gets a little dirty. And then one day you have a look and think, oh, that's a mess. And you clean it and you put it on, you're like, oh my God, I can see. And that's kind of was my experience on this train. I felt like somehow I could see the world, or I could see things. They seem to sparkle a little, like when you're a child. And I was bathed in this eternal moment, and time kind of vanished, and I was just in this present moment. It was a remarkable thing. I why this happened, I still don't know. So that was an experience that really clarified to me that this really was possible, because it had happened. I mean, when I spoke to people about it, a few people I think thought I was just a bit bonkers, to be honest. But I'd come across this. There's a very famous quote of William Blake, which I'm sure many of you know, which is the one that says, to see a world in a grain of sand and a heaven in a wild flower, hold eternity, hold infinity in the palm of your hand and eternity in an hour. And this little 4 lines to me summed up what I'd experienced on that train almost perfectly, particularly this idea of eternity in an hour. I felt like I was just sat in all eternity. And so that kind of spurred me on. I thought, well, it's not just, I haven't just gone mad, because this man obviously knows more about it than I do. He's even able to describe it. I wasn't able to do that. So that was a real driving force in my belief that this enlightenment was possible. And then many years passed, and I discovered that it wasn't so easy to get this thing to happen again. And I didn't particularly do anything, if I'm completely honest about it. I just kind of thought it would happen again because it happened on the train. So I thought maybe it'll happen again. And I had little glimpses, and I definitely felt different. And I could, it was quite frustrating because I would sometimes read things like, like the old quote that says the kingdom of heaven is within you. And I was like, yeah, well, I know that's true. But it was kind of tantalizing because I couldn't reconnect to it. And then I went off and ultimately studied psychology, if you can believe. And that was also, I thought, well, no, that's not it either. They don't know what they're talking about. It's just, all sorts of ideas about all sorts of things, but not about things I was interested in. And when I finished my degree, I had this sort of feeling, I've got to do something about this. I can't just, by this point I was married. I would have 2 children by this point. I mean, I was married, and I thought I'm going to have to do something about this because I can't, I should put some effort in, So I'd heard that meditation, to be honest, I wasn't really interested in meditating. I just wanted to feel like I did on that train. But I'd heard that meditation was the main way in which people try to find enlightenment. So I decided that, I need to learn to meditate. And unknown to me, pretty much, almost very much around the time that I had this desire, I'm going to have to learn to meditate. A Sahaja Yogi who I didn't know was sent to work where I was working. I was working in a hospital unit, and he got sent to work there. He didn't particularly want to go because it wasn't a very nice hospital unit. It was quite a tricky place to work. There was quite a lot of it was about managing violence, frankly, in quite disturbed people. But anyway, he was sent to work there, and eventually the story I heard was his wife said to him, she said, look, you've obviously meant to go there, because he was trying all sorts of ways of not going. She said, obviously meant to go, just go, and there'll be someone there that wants to get their realization, was what she said. Just go, and when you find that person, you'll be allowed to leave. And that's, at the time I didn't see the relevance of it, but actually that is exactly what happened. He came to work in the hospital unit, and I heard he was a meditation teacher, so I asked him. And I have to say, for me, not straight away when I started doing Sahaja Yoga, I did not get that lovely experience on the train, but I did start to feel better in myself, for sure. I felt more contented, more satisfied, more settled. And but eventually I did have experiences similar and have realizations and that actually this Kundalini awakening takes you to the same place, ultimately is capable of taking you to the same place. And that's not to say that I sit that blissed out when I meditate daily, but it definitely gets in that direction. And so that's why I'm hooked and I'm not going anywhere. So anyway, that's my story.
Thank you very much, Adam. Thank you so much for that. We broke from the tradition. I think Thursday used to be breakout rooms, and Adam's story has taken that place for this Thursday.
I think that's not a bad swap.
No, not at all. Better.
I did wonder, because when that's why I spoke to Obi the other night, because I'd never thought of it before. I've known that you drove trains in London for many years, but I have it's never connected the two. But I was telling that story to someone recently, and they said, "Oh, you should ask Obi whether he was driving trains."
No, I wasn't. That was your experience.
So it remains a mystery. It remains a mystery as to exactly what was going on. But there you go. It was very welcome, is all I can say.
If only we know.
Yeah.
So what next? To remind us about the next session coming up on Monday.
So yeah, Monday is
Session 3, Journey Within. The day 47 will be on Monday evening at 7:45, the same time. And it will be on removing obstacles that we face in our daily lives and our personal spiritual growth as well.
It's interesting because I guess today we've been talking about innocence and how that relates to Sri Ganesha and the Muladhara, and removing obstacles, that is also a quality that relates to Sri Ganesha, isn't it? So one of his names is the
remover of obstacles, yes.
Which is why he's often, certainly in Eastern culture, he's often what's the word, praised at the beginning of anything. So as you know, of any endeavor, to remove the obstacles in that endeavor. So that would be the tradition, wouldn't it, in India for sure, to praise Sri Ganesha before embarking on anything.
So it promises to be a very important session next Monday, for which we would hope that everyone will be able to attend.
So I think, does that mean we've reached the end? I think it does, doesn't it?
It seems so. Except we could go into meditation and each person can leave the meeting at their own time.
Yeah, so again, we would, when you want to finish, we would again raise Kundalini and put Bandhan on, as we did at the beginning. So we can sit in meditation, and then when people want, they can raise Kundalini and put on the Bandhan. And I guess we'll close the meeting one way or another in 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe we should say goodbye, Uli. So goodbye, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you all. Thank you. Hope to see you sometime. Bye-bye.